Hello fellow gamers, how the devil are we? If you're a fan of the Silent Hill franchises, then all I'll say is my condolences. I'm very sorry, I feel your pain. If, however, you haven't caught up with the drama that's been going on around Silent Hill, then you've come to the right place because I'll fill you in with all the bits and pieces of what exactly happened. So let's start off at the beginning. Silent Hill was an incredibly popular franchise. It had 6 games, and the last one that was released was 2014. And as you can imagine, people who are a huge fan of the series are practically chomping at the bit to get hold of a new game. Especially considering, since we've seen, the likes of Resident Evil 2 remake, we've seen Nemesis remake, and a whole plethora of great, beautiful horror games, but no Silent Hill. So there are this wonderful group of individuals who basically grab hold of anything slightly mentioning Silent Hill and will dig around it like a truffle pig, trying to find secret clues or at least spur the hopes that there is a new game coming out. And the last one to pop up was from a game called Abandoned. Now, Abandoned is made by the studio Blue Box Studios, and they basically posted this trailer up on the PlayStation channel. And in your typical kind of fashion, it was that, vague-esque trailer. You're like first-person mode going through this spooky area. There's woods and there's like a big sign with Godstown on it. And there's this voiceover just talking about, this religious nutjob, etc. Anyway, the Silent Hill community got hold of this and instantly convinced themselves that this Abandoned was going to be the new revival of the Silent Hill series. And if you're really, really interested in this, and I won't go into it now, but basically there is a subreddit called The Blue Box Conspiracy. And if you're like a game conspiracist like me, then you'll absolutely love it, right? And I'll give you an example of one of them. So, Abandoned, they put out this studio tweet, right? And it said, Abandoned equals first letter S, last letter L. And to go even further with this, right, if you translate the studio director's name, which is Hasan Karaman, apologies if I butchered that, basically, in Turkish, it comes out as Hideo. So our poor Silent Hill starved individuals took this and just ran with it. And to be honest, I completely understand it because this isn't the first time that they've done something like this. So, for example, in Metal Gear Solid, they said that they were releasing this brand new studio called Moby Dick Studios, led by Joachim, which of course is an anagram of Kojima. So this kind of put poor Blue Box Studios into a bit of an awkward position, and they had to go on to apologise, and they tried to explain that basically Abandoned is not Silent Hill, and that it has no relation to Konami, etc. So you can imagine these poor team of devs, they're super excited about their game, and there's kind of this group witch hunting them, like begging them when they're going to release Silent Hill. Anyway, to then add fuel to the fire of this whole situation, enter the Konami merch store. And they did 2 things to exacerbate the whole situation. One, they followed a small Twitter account called Silent Hill Revival. And then they tweeted out on Instagram, I think it was, and they said, something big is coming. And then on Twitter they said, new merch is coming from a cursed place, with the hashtag SHLSS. Anyway, this led to all sorts of speculation and people going to Lali, and there were images of Pyramid Head coming up and coming soon all over the show, and people really began to get their hopes up until it was actually confirmed what SHLSS means, which is Silent Hill Limited Series Skateboard. As you can imagine, lots of tears and disappointment astounding. As yes, 2 new skateboards with decals from the Silent Hill series, more specifically Silent Hill 2. I believe one of them is the nurse. But either way, it doesn't really matter what's on the back of them. It isn't a new game as everyone was expecting. Anyway, that concludes the tale of the Silent Hill series. It is a little bit sad. Will we ever get a Silent Hill game? Nobody currently knows, but we keep speculating and guessing. But I hope you've enjoyed this story nonetheless. I thought it was a fun one, but sad at the same time. I'll be back with more news relatively soon. I hope you're all well, and have a good one.